Good morning. Today we are going to go through how to graph quadratic functions and modelings. It is section 2.1 in your book, but this is going to be learning target 1.4. And then also 1.5, we're looking at modeling real-world applications using quadratic equations. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, so if at any time I'm moving ahead, feel free to hit pause, move back, talk to your neighbor if you need help, and then definitely email me if you have questions. I'll try to get back to you this afternoon. So, graphing quadratic and cubic functions and modeling real-world applications using quadratic equations. First thing you need to remember is a quadratic function is a polynomial function of degree 2. We're going to talk about transforming because that is part of our 2.0, 3.0 for this unit. So I want you to describe how to transform the graph of f of x equals x squared into the graph of the given function. And I want you to sketch the graph by hand. Some of you did not get a 2.0 on your quiz because you didn't actually describe the transformation. So I want you to tell me that there's a vertical shrink by 1/2. It is reflected about the x-axis. That was the other common mistake there. And then we shift, vertical shift up 3. Okay? So again, those of you who did not get the 3 or the 2, it was mostly because you didn't describe the transformation, you just tried to write the equation right away. So if I sketch a graph of this, the original, when I flip the original, we have one that goes upside down, shifted up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then is shrunk or wider vertically. Okay, so when I start plugging in values, if you want to, you can make a table. So I have the vertex at 0, 3, I could plug in 1, I can plug in 2 if I want. When I do that, I get 2.5 here, and then when I plug in 2, I get 1. So I'm going to plot those points. Okay, just a rough sketch here of my parabola. It is wider, it is reflected, it is shifted up. Okay. Second one, same idea, describe the transformations. So we have a vertical stretch. By a factor of 3. We have a horizontal shift. Left 2. We have a vertical shift. Down 1. So we're going to go ahead and sketch that graph. Let's try that again. A little better. So if it helps, you could graph your parent function. I'm going to go ahead and do that in blue. So I have 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. And I'm reflecting that. Okay, so here's my parent function. Most of you are okay with that on your quiz. So we're going to shift and stretch. So we're going to shift left 2 and down 1. And then we're going to stretch by a factor of 3. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So we're going to be nice and narrow here. The other one's not going to fit. It's going to be pretty high. So we have a very narrow graph that almost looks like a V the way I drew it. Okay, so if it helps, draw the parent function first. You're good. Go on from there. Okay. Some key features that we want to talk about, the axis of symmetry or the axis, is the vertical line of symmetry. Okay, and I could type this, it would make it faster. But then you need to remember that the vertex is the point where the parabola and axis of symmetry intersect. Okay, so key features you need to know. You should be good there. Three forms of quadratic functions. You can convert between the three by multiplying things out or factoring. So standard form of a quadratic equation, you remember it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex form is in the form a times x minus h squared plus k. And factored form is in the form a times x minus p times x minus q. So for the first one, to find the axis of symmetry to start, you're going to do the opposite of b over 2a, and then you can plug that in to find your vertex. For the axis in vertex form, you are going to take the opposite of whatever's in your parentheses here, since it's a minus. So if it's a positive 2, your axis is negative 2. And then your vertex is actually going to be the point hk, so you don't need to do any extra work there. And then factored or intercept form, we actually have our x-intercepts, okay, at the points p0 and q0. And in Algebra 2, I always make a point of emphasizing, like anytime you're using a number from inside the parentheses, we always end up changing the signs because technically you're setting an equal to 0 and solving. Once you have that, you can find the middle of those 2 points and use that to help you find the vertex. Okay, so we are going to find the vertex and axis of symmetry of quadratic functions. So we have a quadratic function here. We are going to find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and then rewrite the equation in vertex form. Before we can do that, we need to make sure our quadratic is in standard form. So I need to switch these two around here. So I have negative 3x squared plus 6x minus 5. And I'm going to go ahead and find my axis, which is the opposite of b over 2 times a. And when I simplify, I get positive 1. And then I can find my vertex by plugging 1 in and simplifying all this, so I get negative 3 plus 6 is 3. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So my vertex is at the point 1, negative 2. So to write this equation out, what I really need to pay attention to is my coefficient, my leading coefficient, and my vertex. So when I find my function in vertex form, my leading coefficient is my a that's outside of my parentheses. I have x minus my vertex, so minus 1 squared, and then my k, the sign stays the same. So there's my vertex form. Okay, you also had to identify the axis and vertex there. Okay, next one. You can do the same thing using completing the square. The process is a little different here, so kind of depends on how you want to look at it. I've seen this a couple different ways. I'm going to show you one way. You definitely don't have to show your work exactly this way, but the main steps are the same. I've seen people leave this 11 on the right side, and I have seen people move the 11 to the other side. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to divide everything by 3 so that I don't have a leading coefficient, because remember when we reviewed, you couldn't have anything in front of your x squared when you did this. Okay. In Algebra 2, when you completed the square, you actually were told to add the same number to both sides. We're not going to do that because we have f of x over here instead of 0. We're going to add it and then subtract it because a positive and a negative will cancel out. Formula for completed square is b over 2 squared, so 4 divided by 2 squared, and we're going to simplify that. So I get x plus 2 squared when I factor that, because remember 4 divided by 2 is 2, that's what goes in my parentheses here. And then I actually have 11 thirds here minus, and then this is 4, so I have 12 over 3. So I get minus 1/3. Okay, remember that first step we divided by 3 there? We need to get rid of that. We need to multiply by 3 so that we don't have anything on the left side with our function notation. So I'm going to multiply everything here by 3 to get the function f of x equals 3x times the quantity x plus 2 squared minus 1. Okay, so here's our function in vertex form by completing the square. Definitely think it's easier to do the opposite of b over 2a and go from there, but it's definitely up to you. So if we wanted to describe the graph from this form, I would say vertical stretch by a factor of 3, horizontal shift, left 2, and vertical shift, down 1. And that would be your final answer. Okay. We're going to do some applications next, and I'm actually going to start another video, so make sure you're okay with this and then go on to video 2. Have a great day, and again, if you have questions, pause, go back, ask your neighbor, email me, and I'll try to get back to you. Have a good day.